Every night's beach salad, fixing fights. Beach salad, reaching heights. Beach salad with the works.
I've been bouncing on the sea, spinning in the spray, thirsty from the sea, so happy now. I've been playing in the park like children chasing birds, clumping through the clover field, sing along. I've been dancing in the dew, morning as it's way, sweeping out the sailor space. Everybody, I've met a woman in the haze, I don't recall her name, but heavens, what a pretty face, beautiful. I've been bouncing on the sea, spinning in the spray, thirsty from the sea, so happy now. I've been playing in the park like children chasing birds, clumping through the clover, sing along. I've been dancing in the dew, morning as it's way, sweeping out the sailor space. Everybody, I've met a woman in the haze, I don't recall her name, but heavens, what a pretty Beautiful. I've been bouncing on the sea, spinning in the spray, bursting from the seesaw, laughing out. I've been playing in the park like children chasing birds, walking through the cornfield, sing along. I've been dancing in the blue, morning as a twig, sweeping out the sailor space. Everybody, I met a woman in the haze, I don't recall her name, but heaven's what a pretty face, beautiful. I've been bouncing on the sea, spinning in the sway, bursting from the seesaw, laughing out. I've been playing in the park like children chasing birds, walking through the cornfield, sing along. I've been dancing in the blue, morning out of twig, sweeping up the sailor space. Everybody, I met a woman in the haze, I don't recall her name, but heaven what a pretty face, beautiful. Heaven what a pretty face, beautiful. Pretty face, beautiful. She got run away, we got no time to play, but she never would pass up the light. She's as broke as a ghost, she makes great for the toast, and she's been before she end up a wife. The illusion of grace, like a whip made of lace, flashes faintly as far from her face. She will buy you a drink with a belch and a wink, and she'll curse when she shows you her place. The tattoo on her thigh is a fist in an eye, and she tells me the one and the same. I'm a dime, she's a switch, but her mom is a bitch, and I'm forbidden from using her name. She wants hugs, drugs, and rock and roll. 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 Met a friend from the bay, he's as straight as he can, on a window take off for the show. But she'll ruin the day if she can't get away, and it's the prettiest part of world tour. She wants hugs, drugs, and rock and roll. She wants hugs, drugs, and rock and roll.
Well, they told me when I was young that my fears wouldn't fade, and the man that I made would cascade. I'm afraid the concern was mislaid. But if everything they say comes true, there's not much good that luck will do. I need the strength to get me through.
She's the stars in the range when she takes to the stage, 'cause she reps and she struts like a queen. There'll be blood in the streets, there'll be butts in the seats, 'cause they'll all pay to see her on the screen. She wants hugs, drugs, and rock and roll. 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 Miss the last train on the red line. Cussing the metal monster as it rolls away.
Hello, folks. Thank you for joining us on the NQuisition, a battle of wits, the game where you can try to outthink the members of Philadelphia's premier comedy troupe, the N Crowd. My name is Mike, and I'll be your quizmaster tonight. If you want to play along at home, a pen and paper might come in handy, as would a tankard and ale to fill it. Let's go to our scorekeeper. He's well renowned for his infinite integrity and boundless sagacity. It's Vegas the Incorruptible.
Yo, integrity and sagacity in the house.
How are you feeling tonight, Vegas?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm running the tech tonight in addition to scorekeeping, so get ready for problems.
Well, that's okay. I think our audience is going to be very forgiving as usual, especially if they're celebrating like we are, because on this date, back in 1516, Duke Wilhelm IV of Bavaria decreed that in future, in all cities, markets, and in the country, the only ingredients used for the brewing of beer must be barley, hops, and water. So in honor of the famous German beer purity law that's still in existence in sort of the same form today, it's a law known as the Reinheitsgebot. Tonight's show is going to be all about beer. And as always, we'll start off with 3 facts. And this week, the facts are 3 facts about beer.
Sorry, Reinheitsgebot. I gotta have my blackberry and currant Guinness.
I'm enjoying a little something from Chestnut Brew Works, a little Halleck Pale Ale, Chestnut Works out of West Virginia, run by one of my oldest and dearest friends.
I knew we were doing a beer show, and my car is in the shop this week, so I couldn't leave my house. So I'm having orange juice and rum. Again, sorry, German beer purists.
On the web camera, that probably could have passed for beer too, you know?
Yeah, I probably could have sold it as a Blue Moon.
All right, well, let's get to our facts.
Yeah, you gotta tell me 3 beer facts before we start the show.
All right, well, here goes. Fact number 1. And there were like a million pronunciations of this online, so I don't know if I'm getting her name right, but Tenyenye was an ancient Egyptian goddess of both beer and childbirth, presumably because drinking one often ends up leading to the other. Here's fact number 2. Are you ready for this, Vegas?
Ooh, I'm ready for fact number 2.
Walmart reports that leading up to a hurricane, their top-selling item is beer. After the hurricane, their top-selling items go back to being lawn chairs, pantyhose, and Callista Flockhart brand lock de-icer. Because when you need a graphite-based spray to lubricate even your most corroded locking mechanisms, Callista Flockhart is the name you can trust. Do you know that fact?
You can use Callista Flockhart brand graphite spray for all sorts of household needs.
It's true. Versatile. That Ally McBeal knows her lock de-icers.
It's not just for machine lubrication.
Precisely. All right, and here is fact number 3 about beer. Beer is the third most popular drink on Earth after water and tea. The least popular drinks on Earth continue to be diarrhea and lava. All right, and with that, let's meet our contestants tonight. Up first, we have Randy.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, Randy. Happy beer show to you.
No, Mike. I'm in opposition to the show. I'm drinking water, plain water in protest. That is the energy that I'm bringing tonight.
If this was if this was 1,000 years ago or so, you'd be more likely to die from pathogens in that water than the pure beer.
Well, die from pathogens in defiance.
You're a woman of principle.
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's bring on contestant number 2 tonight, and that is none other than Rob.
Hey, Rob, what are you doing?
Water, Zima. Man.
I'm a man of many tastes.
Is Zima still around?
They re-released it a couple years ago. I only know this because it's still sitting on the same shelf at my local liquor store as it was the day it reappeared.
I don't think I've ever had a Zima.
I think you are a better human being for it.
I've had Sprite. Is that kind of like...
It's similar, only more sugar and less satisfaction, and fewer NBA endorsements.
Now, Rob, you're going to be getting a degree pretty soon, right?
Yes, I finally, after 3 years of study at the University of Connecticut.
Wait, I'm sorry. I thought that was a Zoom plug-in on your...
Oh, you thought it? No, this is a mask that I made here at the UConn School of Puppetry and Cosmetology. I will be able to build you a puppet, do your nails, and make you a mask all in one setting.
Yeah, UCSPC!
Woohoo! Go fighting nail files.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
You decided to make a change in your life, and then you did it.
I did decide to make a change in my life. I was an improviser and actor in a small regional market, and that was far too stable. So I decided to go into further debt to get a master's degree in an esoteric art form that very few people value.
Proud of
you. As an English major.
Thank you very much. You know the pain very well.
And wait, was that beer that you're drinking?
It is. Much in tribute to our beloved President Joseph R. Robinette Biden. I have the Dogfish Head Campfire Amplifier with me this evening.
All right. Very nice. Well, let's go to our third contestant. It is BJ.
Hey, welcome to my OnlyFans erotic break. Hey, everyone. Hi.
BJ, I guess you're
What's going on here?
Nothing. I mean, apart from it being our beer show, yesterday it was a pretty big deal for the N Crowd. As the executive director, maybe you could tell us what that day was.
Well, it was our very first show, actually, way back 16 years ago. 16 years ago. Yes, on a cool April day in an unbelievably warm dance studio / chop shop garage on hand-built stages by you and me. which we had to disassemble every evening. And boy, we were younger men back then. I can't even imagine doing that now. We had our first improv show.
Yep. You mentioned Chop Shop and Dance Studio. You left out Karate Dojo.
Oh yeah, it had all sorts of things there. We had one bright light to illuminate the stage.
Yes.
One light, and then we had 4 4x8 platforms that were high enough that you couldn't just easily step up there. You needed like a little booth. And they had to be clamped together or they would slowly slide apart throughout the show. And you knew you had a good show if 3 or the 4 of the clamps would fall off during the show. And they wouldn't just sort of like clumpity clumpity clump. You would hear wham that would echo throughout the entire chop shop.
Now, BJ, you can often you help out one of your closest friends, Colt Sebastian Taylor, at coltsebastiantaylor.com. And
I do.
And Colt hosts the Saturday Report, right? Tell us about that.
Yes. I am a production assistant on the Saturday Report on AWSM Radio, 11 a.m. Every week. Repeats on Sunday, and the past episodes are on coltsebastiantaylor.com, where he reviews a week of interesting news stories, such as on Mars, there is a new rover there. And on the rover, there is a helicopter that can fly around, the first flying machine on Mars. And on that helicopter drone thingy is a tiny 1x1 inch piece of the Wright flyer, the Wright brothers flyer. They got permission from the museum to cut a little piece of the wing, tape it to this thing. So the first thing that flew on Earth, a piece of that is the first thing that has flown also on Mars.
Wow.
Pretty sure they didn't tape it.
They put some Scotch tape on there. Put it on there.
Yeah, somebody had a wad of chewing gum.
Yeah. So just one of the many stories Colt covers every week.
All right. Well, with that, let's start off with round number 1. Jack, be quick.
Ooh, I get to press the button. We're back.
We and Crowders
what
are
happened? BJ's back too.
Go back, yep.
We and Crowders are currently in a Zoom room and have access to its chat function. I will be asking 7 questions as Vegas the Incorruptible monitors the chat room. The first one of the contestants to type a capital N for NCrowd into the chat room after a question is asked will be allowed to give an answer.
That's right. But if you, what do you do wrong? If you type the N and it's a lowercase n, boy, oh boy, you know you're going to lose 2 points for that one. Nobody wants to see lowercase n in a quiz show. That's crazy. And if you type your N before Mike finishes reading the question out loud, you lose your ability to answer. Those are the rules. And I will be writing the questions in the chat box so you can see them. Audience, you can see our chat box. I'm just saying things.
I like that background, Rob.
Thought you might.
Hooray!
Hooray!
One of the best Halloween costumes I ever saw. My buddy in college went as Duff Man, and he had a boombox blasting that song that he always does. All right, here we go. First question, and it is about beer.
Uh-oh.
George Washington owned a private brewery on his Mount Vernon estate, but who was the first president to set up a beer brewing operation in the White House?
BJ.
Obviously, it would be Andrew Jackson.
And the answer is, oh God, I gotta look at like 4 screens at once.
I also don't want to say what
the answer is not Andrew Jackson.
If you want, I can say whether they're
Maybe
right.
you should.
Okay.
I had a 1 in 45 chance.
I think we have Rob.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Thomas Jefferson because he's made a lot of bad choices. I know he made beer, and I hope the two are linked, but I know they're not.
He may have made beer, but as far as the website I went to showed, it wasn't in the White House.
Got it.
You had that Jefferson brew from Yards Brewery. That's pretty good.
Yeah, the Tavern Spruce.
Randy, what do you think?
Let's see. Jimmy Carter. He seems like the type, right? Old Jim with the brewery.
Billy Beer?
Yeah.
Billy Beer.
Oh, it's not Jimmy either.
It was one Barack Obama.
Whoa!
Many
I
of
was
our presidents,
closest if we're doing like
chronologically,
Price is Right rules. My bid was closest.
but he had White House staff collect honey from beehives that were on the south lawn of the White House, and they brewed White House honey ale, among others, but it was in a homebrew kit that Obama bought with his personal money. It was just sort of like guys his age just sort of get into home brewing. Why is the president?
I imagine Republicans would want 8 hours of congressional hearings about it.
Oh God, I'm sure. All right, question number 2. We're staying with presidents here. For 3 points, name a president from Pennsylvania, and for 7 points, name both of them.
PJ, you were the first.
And I was. Well, James Buchanan was definitely a president from Pennsylvania. And I suppose you could count Joe Biden because he was born in Pennsylvania.
PJ, you just got 7 points. All right, Mike, I changed my mind. I can look at 2 screens at once now.
That's good because, man, was that getting stressful on mine. Yes. So when I was researching this show, I found out that April 23rd is James Buchanan's birthday, and it's also William Penn's birthday. So tonight's theme was going to be about Pennsylvania, but then I found out it was William Penn Sr., not the founder of the state, and I thought that was more lame.
Admiral William Penn Sr.
Mm-hmm. So we went with beer instead. I had that question written.
Fun fact about James Buchanan, besides being a terrible president, only single bachelor president ever. And so his daughter or niece served as the first lady in terms of holiday functions.
Yes.
You're welcome.
All right. What a fun fact. Look how much fun that brought us.
We got that fact is worth at least $300 worth of donations. Well.
You heard it here.
Okay.
Get to work.
All right, let's go away from presidents. And question number 3, adding zinc to copper will result in what alloy often used to make horns, bells, and my balls?
Rob, you were the first.
Aluminum.
The answer is not aluminum.
Damn it. I had this horn ready to go.
I don't think aluminum's an alloy. I think it's an element.
It's an element.
BJ, you were next.
Brass.
Oh, now that's an alloy. The answer is brass.
Similar to bronze, except bronze is copper and tin.
You gotta add zinc to copper to make a ska band.
One of my favorite Onion headlines of all time was "Ska band outnumbers audience."
That is often a problem for improv groups too.
Yes, yeah. All right, rolling right along. Question number 4. If you add up the opposite sides of a standard 6-sided die, so whatever you roll, the side that's up and the side that's laying down on the table, you add together the opposite sides, what number will you get? All opposite sides add up to this number.
BJ?
I'm going to say 17. Oh, wait. 6 side. Fuck.
Yeah, it's not 17.
I thought you said 16 sided.
Rob, you were the second.
21.
That is not the answer
What?
either.
Oh, 6-sided. Damn.
What is happening? Just regular
Play D&D.
I mean, I love D&D too, but we're talking craps dice.
Randy, buzz in again?
Yeah, Randy doesn't need to buzz in. She waits for the two of you to fail.
7.
It is 7.
Ah. Good job. That's what I was thinking.
Well, that was
My
that.
family was incredibly competitive with Parcheesi growing up, and that's a major part in Parcheesi to know that the two sides of the die add up to a 7.
Mm.
Any other Parcheesi players?
I've never played Parcheesi.
Yeah, my family was crazy on it, and I feel like I've never met anybody else who's played it. Oh,
I can kind of envision the board, and I might be envisioning cribbage.
With the
Is
pegs?
it Parcheesi the game where you have like all these guys with 1 through 9 and engineers, and you yell Stratego at the end?
no, I think that's Stratego.
Oh, I don't know what it is.
We were a die abstinent family. We were strictly Scrabble. So
No beer, no beer, no dice at the Wells home.
yes, precisely.
Yeah, you're going more of a tile family there.
Mm-hmm.
Parcheesi is kind of like Sorry for adults.
As in, you're sorry you're playing?
No, like the game Sorry, it's like you try to get along the board and then somebody knocks you back to the beginning and it's like, all right, you over. Anyway, question number 5. Romeo and Juliet is one of 2 plays that William Shakespeare set in a certain city in Italy. Name the city and get 3 points, but name the other play set there for 3 bonus points.
Rob knows the answer and buzzed in too fast. BJ?
I'm going to say Othello.
That is a person. Randy?
Can I say the city?
So the city is
Yeah.
Verona.
Is what?
Verona.
Correct.
Those are bonus points.
The other play set there. I don't know. Is it a Shakespeare play? Another Shakespeare play set there?
Yeah.
I don't. Oh, I'm bad.
Fun not fact. The TV series, 2 Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place took inspiration from this show.
Oh, well, that should help.
Of course, everyone in the audience is shouting at their screens, the 2 Gentlemen of Verona.
Oh,
Oh,
very good.
well, so much for that.
Got to get on that.
Yeah.
Get on
But you
that.
still get 3 points, Randy.
Yay.
Verona virus.
Oh, I should have started with the city then, I guess. Damn it.
Yeah. You have to get the question right to get the bonus points. And you wouldn't have gotten the bonus points. So,
Well, neither did she.
no, but you got the question right.
Yeah.
I want you to pull a map out and show me where Othello is, BJ.
Yeah, where did Othello take place?
It was actually my family's board game of choice, and I still don't understand the rules.
Oh, God.
Question number 6. What is the capital of Libya? And here's a hint. Its name comes from the Latin for 3 cities.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Shit.
BJ.
Tripoli.
You're right, it's Tripoli.
It was also the first military victory that a New World country had in the Old World when the U.S. had a little battle. That's where the Marine Corps hymn, "From the halls of
Montezuma
to the shores of Tripoli.
So rousing.
All right.
All right, question number 7, last question of the round. In 1978, Amelia Marcos Palma was the first person to be born where?
Rob.
The Philippines.
No. BJ.
I see where you're going with that.
I am going to say the Panama Control Zone.
I don't know what that means, but no.
No.
Randy, care to answer without buzzing in?
Let me consider. In 1978, Emilio Marcos Palma was the first person to be born. Where?
I have a guess. I have a guess after that.
You already had a guess.
I know.
In a test tube? That's not right.
The answer, Mike, you want to tell? It's a good answer.
I feel like that would be usurping your position, Vegas.
Antarctica, the 7th continent.
Oh.
That's trying too hard. It's trying too hard to have an interesting story. Be born on the regular continent.
It was actually trying too hard by the Argentinian government, who were using his birth there. His father was in the military and was stationed there, and his mother was not going to be there, but then they flew her down there to have the baby just so the Argentine government could be like, look, our citizens are setting up home here. This is just another part of Argentina. Give us this land. And Britain and Chile were like, no.
Argentina always trying to take other people's stuff.
Yeah, I don't know what Britain has to say about it, but I do. That is a bold move if I were Chilean. It's like, wow, we're both down here. Like, come on. Relax.
Did human birth become the means by which expansion of territory happens?
Well, when no one lives there, it does give you a bit of a say.
It's
right, but you can't just drop a human like, oh, you're freshborn, it's yours, tend to the land.
Yeah, it's a little bolder than planting a flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we're trying to be like, look, these other countries only send like soldiers and scientists, and we have families planting roots and stuff. It's like,
yeah, who was this mother that agreed to this torture?
Yeah, because the pain of childbirth isn't enough. It's got to be -70 below 0.
Argentina? Oh my lord. No, thank you.
All right, well, after that game, let's check in with our scorekeeper, Vegas the Incorruptible. How are these Encrafted?
Well, Mike, for one, we're getting a request from the chat room that you do more of your spot-on Chilean accent. And in the meantime, BJ is in the lead with 13 points. Randy has 6 points. And Rob, I know you knew some of those answers, but you don't have any points yet.
Yep.
Okay, well, this is where that pen and paper might come in handy. Round 2, deep thought.
Okay, now we got video going on.
Nailed it.
And now we have a show going on, and now the contestants are talking.
Hey, people want to hear the stage directions.
Yeah.
All All right, these N Crowders have all made their own answer cards. They're going to be recording their answers on their cards, and we'll be checking in on what they've written later on in the show. So, the first question here, I have 3 growlers of Halleck Pale Ale from Chestnut Brew Works in Morgantown, West Virginia. I want to pour my 3 growlers into steins for my friends to share. Each stein holds a third of the volume of one of the growlers. So for 7 points, how many steins will I need? Now, I know this sounds complicated, so I'm going to make it easy. I'll give you the equation, and we'll see who remembers 5th grade fractions. 3 divided by 1/3.
Oh, boy. Get the hell out of here, Declan.
There.
Hey, we're doing a show here. What do you think this is? Ah, boy, oh, boy. What is this?
How did you do in your fractions back in middle school?
Fractions, that was one of those things where it was like, it was probably very easy, but I couldn't remember which order. I was not as good as fractions as I should have been.
You're kind of who I was aiming this question at. Somebody who we'd really get to see struggle and scratch their head.
You took a drink after you admitted you were bad at it.
That's because of how much it hurt.
All right, let's go to question number 2. And remember, contestants, you've all been on this show before. You've all each won episodes of this show before, so I'm sure you know this. But you can work on these questions all throughout the rest of the show until the very last round. So don't think you have to rush and get it in right now. Question number 2. Okay, this is kind of a wacky one. By what trademark name is a commonly used water displacement spray better known? It's not the Callista Flockhart brand. But here's a hint. The creators claim that the current product was their 40th variation on their formula and have kept it a trade secret since its release in 1953. The correct answer will earn you 10 points. The answer which most amuses Vegas the Incorruptible will earn you 5 points. I know this seems like what the hell is he talking about, but I think there is enough info there to get it, and if not, you can always make Vegas laugh. And if you know the correct answer, you can write that and write a funny one and get 15 points, maybe.
Holy shit!
I know. What a dynamic.
You've gone mad with power. Mad with power, Mike. The pandemic has changed you.
Yeah.
This next one is hard, like fractions.
Okay, for this next one, I think we should preface it, though, by doing the old schoolyard thing. Everybody point to your head and then say the initials of Mark Twain.
SC.
Well, Rob was too clever for us. Oh, your head's empty.
I almost said Mark Twain, and I was like, that can't wait. Tell me one syllable. Maybe that is what an initial is.
All right, question number 3. For 10 big points, what is the only English word that ends in MT? And I think this is hard, so I'll give you another hint. It is 1 syllable.
Yeah.
Another hint, it's a verb in past tense.
That's too many hints for Randy. She came from a Scrabble family.
Yeah.
I don't get this. I'm going to be so ashamed.
Well, I posed this question to my mother, who's a heck of a Scrabble player, and she whiffed on it. So,
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Tisk
Oh boy.
tisk.
yeah, it was the first thing my dear mother ever did wrong. Also, Vegas, I have on that question next to the answer, I have 3 points. This is worth 10.
What?
On the script,
Uh-huh.
where it says the answer, it said equals 3 points. I just changed that to 10.
Oh, well, in the question it said 10 points.
Yeah.
Besides running tech for the first time, I got like 2 hours of sleep last night. For no reason. I just couldn't go to sleep. So, anyway, this rum and orange juice should make it better.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you know what helps with that? Here. Hold on to those answer cards because we're going to be checking them later in the show. But right now, let's go to round 3.
The mystery round?
Mystery round. A mystery round. What?
You're muting yourself this time.
We are back.
This round is different every episode, so the contestants will never know what they have to deal with. This week, the mystery round is called Questions About a Corpse. I have chosen a dead celebrity. You will each get to ask yes or no questions to figure out who the dead celebrity is. You start out the round with 10 points. Every time you ask a question, you lose a point. When you think you know who the person is, you must say, Mike smells like a summertime sunset, and then put down your answer.
Oh, Christ, like carousel. Mike smells like a summertime sunset.
Mike smells like a summertime sunset.
Well, thank you.
And then we type out the answer?
Just write it down, and basically that'll mean you'll get that number of points when you say that, if you get it right.
Okay, just so we're on the same page here, we keep asking questions. Once I think I know, I write it down, then I stop asking questions, and then once everyone does, once we get there, then we take a guess to see who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then we see the answers that you've written down.
Gotcha. I need another piece of paper then. All right. Thank you for the clarification, you tyrants.
Okay. So the first question is going to go to the contestant who is in the lead right now.
That's BJ.
That's me.
So we're gonna go according to the leaders 1, 2, 3 because it advantages the person in last place.
Sure.
Would that? So that would be BJ, Randy, Rob.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So BJ, you're and I wanted to give you this other clue. In keeping with the theme of tonight's show, I can tell you that the dead celebrity is not often associated with the theme of tonight's show.
No. All right. Okay. Yes, no question. Okay. Have you passed away within the last year?
No.
Okay.
Randy?
Oh, did you ever win an Oscar?
No.
What was that?
No.
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Was your death considered tragic or before its time?
Nope.
No. I think it was tragic, but not before its time.
Every death is tragic.
Yeah.
Disagree.
BJ?
Yeah. Were you known for music in any way?
Yes.
Okay.
Randy?
Are you a man?
Yes.
Okay.
Rob?
Did you frequently sport a goatee?
No.
Beej?
Was there a movie made about your life?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. there
Yes.
Did you play a ukulele?
No.
Yeah, I would say this person isn't known for playing a ukulele. I wouldn't be surprised if this person could play a ukulele, could strum a few chords.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, but not to our combined knowledge.
Okay.
Is this artist have a song that's closely associated with a state in the United States?
No. Beej?
Mike smells like a summertime sunset.
Ooh, here we go.
Okay, so you've got your answer written down. You can't change it now. Randy?
So I asked a question.
Mhm.
Is that what it is? I'm still asking questions. Did I win a Grammy? I keep asking music questions.
You're heading to Wikipedia.
Yeah, who's doing that? Who's doing? Yes.
Did someone keep track of how many questions I asked?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I wasn't.
Rob, what do you got?
Did this person No, I don't want to burn a question. There's points involved.
This is really tense.
Yeah.
Really tense.
Would you refer to this person as a composer more so than a songwriter?
Would I?
Yes or no question?
No.
Randy, that's back to you.
Did this person also do comedy?
Yes.
Mike smells like a summertime sunset.
All right.
Ooh, okay.
Oh my god, give me a break. Do you have white hair? Oh no, they're not dead.
I would say yes.
Probably at the end.
Yes.
White-ish.
I think I know it's yes or no, but I think we'd have to say here the person had white hair at one point
in one particular area of their body that we shall not further disclose.
They had white hair when they got older, and they didn't have white hair when they were younger.
Right.
Okay.
So they went.
All right. Mike smells like a summertime sunset because I don't want to keep dragging this out.
All right, very well.
Yeah.
You want to write down your answer, and I guess do you want to start with BJ?
Yeah, let's see what BJ thought first.
I went with.
Wait, sorry, BJ. How many points were at stake for BJ?
BJ had 7 that he could win.
All right, 7 big points here, BJ.
I went with Johnny Cash.
Oh, not. Well,
No?
yeah, not Johnny Cash. I can
Not
say that
Johnny
because you
Cash.
guys wrote down your answers.
Oh, damn. What I get for my green pen on my green notebook. There we go. I also wrote Johnny Cash.
All right.
points
Oh
for me.
boy. Oh boy, Mike.
That is really interesting.
That is funny.
I wouldn't have
So
thought
many
these
movies
two were
made
very
about-
similar.
So many movies made about dead musicians.
Well,
I've got one more question before you reveal the actual answer.
sure. Randy,
All right.
who did you write down?
Yeah, so I wrote down, I was like half listening to everybody else's question. I just wrote down a name. Johnny Carson. So
No, it's not Johnny Carson either. Lots of Johnnies.
yeah, a lot tonight.
Is this person a real human being or a fictional construct?
Real
It's a
human
real
being.
Oh,
being.
then it's not Dewey Cox. All right, cool.
Vegas, do you want to reveal who the very Johnny Cash-like person is?
Yeah, I think some of you got thrown off track down the musician line of questioning, which was
This
only
person does have a bachelor's in music from Rollins College in 1951.
yeah, and music was part of their career, but it was Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers. Did he win a Grammy? Yes, he did, for one of those weird reasons that famous people win Grammys sometimes.
Fred McFeely Rogers, which Mr. McFeely is from his original name, and he was named after his grandfather.
Oh my goodness.
The other cool fact I learned about Fred Rogers was that he moved to New York and he produced some children's television there, and he moved to Canada and produced some children's television with the CBC, where he partnered with this one guy, I forget the guy's name, but then Mr. Rogers moved back to Pittsburgh and started Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and this guy stayed up in Canada and started a public broadcasting thing called Mr. Dress Up that apparently had a similar format to Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and both of them ran for decades and decades and became staples of children's television in those countries.
I lost interest in Rogers after his Live at Alcatraz album. It really turned me off. Daniel Tiger talking about what life was like on the inside just disingenuine.
Daniel Tiger mauled a man in Reno just to watch him die. Obviously, the musician thing definitely.
Yeah.
Obviously,
But he played all the music.
Yes.
He played all the piano parts. So,
I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah, and it wasn't Mike tricking you. It was you tricking yourselves.
Vegas' poor choice of words.
Always the case, right?
Vegas' fault.
What?
I feel like Randy should get points because at least she wasn't totally thrown off. Johnny Carson is kind of close.
Closest. Let's see, Vegas, how many points does somebody get for being closest?
None for being closest.
Life is not fair.
All right, well, after that game, let's check in with the scorekeeper, Vegas the Incorruptible. How are these Encrouters doing?
The scores
Scoring
have
round.
not changed in 2 rounds.
See,
Well-
it's in the script, so I just blurted out.
But that's about to change because now it's time for Sex With Me.
Sex with me, 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 yeah.
in the Twitch chat room, we're going to be asking for suggestions of nouns, objects, persons, places, or things. So start typing those now. The contestants are going to turn those suggestions into bawdy jokes, and Vegas the Incorruptible will award a point per joke.
That's right. And if you really tickle that funny bone, my funny bone, that is, you just might get 2 points. And if you don't make any sense, you won't get it. You won't get a point. You gotta tell a joke. Doesn't have to be a good joke, but it's gotta be a joke. Come on, we're professionals here.
We have the number of people watching.
Yeah. It's not just me logged in multiple times. We got a full crowd here.
Well, 25's here.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, your first word is whatever. I don't know.
Maybe you are logged in 5 times.
Well, maybe I am. It's Yahtzee.
Yahtzee. Ooh.
Sex with me is like sex with Yahtzee. It's cried out all the time in senior citizen centers.
Sex with me is like sex with Yahtzee. There's a lot of this motion.
Sex with me is like sex with Yahtzee. It involves dice, chance, and no one has a good time.
Sex with me is like sex with Yahtzee. A good time overlooked by the young folk.
Sex with me is like sex with Yahtzee. I'm just happy if there's a pair.
Sex with me is like sex with Yahtzee. It's what Yoda has when he sees a boat.
It's what Yoda has when he sees...
Yahtzee, see yacht. Yoda speaks backwards is what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
Sex with me is like sex with Yahtzee. It starts on the table and usually stays on there, but every once in a while, it hits the floor.
Sex with me is like sex with Yahtzee. It was replaced by Pokemon Go, and I'm still not over it, Barbara.
Sex with me is like sex with Yahtzee. You get it at Christmas, and it's okay, but it's probably going to be in the closet most of the time.
Sex with me is like sex with Yahtzee. You get annoying Facebook messages about having it with your parents.
Sex with me is like sex with Yahtzee. I whip it out only when friends come over from out of town.
Sex with me is like sex with Yahtzee, brought to you by the Parker Brothers.
It's got a lot of Yahtzee jokes.
You guys do. We can move on to another object.
I got a big hill to climb here.
Unless you've got one, Mike.
They took literally 2 or 3 of my I didn't come up with that Yoda one, though. I love the convolutedness of that joke. That's my kind of joke.
Thanks to Squawk25 for doing the heavy lifting with suggestions tonight. And here's a word that I'm not sure exactly what it is. Macaroons.
Sex with me is like sex with macaroons. Most people are allergic.
Sex with me is like sex with macaroons. It's a treat, you fuckers. It's a treat.
Sex with me is like sex with macaroons. A delight at tea time.
Sex with me is like sex with macaroons. Most people mistake them for the French Macron.
Sex with me is like sex with macaroons. I only whip it out when guests come over.
Sex with me is like sex with macaroons. Nice and spongy.
Sex with me is like sex with macaroons. It's the most popular item in the third aisle of Trader Joe's where people are in line in front of you and are not getting out of the way.
Sex with me is like sex with
Trader
macaroons. Always store-bought. Never made it home.
Sex with me is like sex with macaroons. It's nutty. Coconutty.
Boy, you guys had a lot of jokes for a thing that I didn't know what it was.
It's a type of cookie but it's chocolate over coconut.
Oh, that's like sex with me.
But it's often mistaken for the macaron, which is the little sandwich made out of almond flour.
Sex
I'm
with
a
me is
fat
like
person.
sex with me is like sex with macaroons. If I put it in my mouth, I may have an allergic reaction and die.
Sex with me is like sex with macaroons, often confused for a better thing from a different place.
Sex with me is like sex with macaroons, contributing to our national obesity nightmare.
Let's move on to Jupiter.
I got a real simple one for macaroons.
All right, fine.
Sex with me is like macaroons. I come in a box.
Sex
Jupiter.
with me is like sex with Jupiter. It's hard to miss because there's a lot of gas.
Sex with me is like
sex with Jupiter. If I bend over, there's one red eye. There's always
sex with me is like sex with Jupiter. All the young ones know it's ascending.
Oh, boo. Terrible movie.
Sex with me is like sex with Jupiter. Many moons.
Sex with me is like sex with Jupiter, not quite heavy enough to shine bright like you. It would have been the sun if it was heavier. Fine, star.
All right.
Sex with me is like sex with Jupiter, commonly referred to as royalty in something that doesn't really matter.
I'm sure that's
based in Grecian myth.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a good joke. I'll give you a point for it. We'll look
Sex
it up
with me
later.
is like sex. Sex with me is like sex with Jupiter. I'm really into crushing. Sex with me is like sex with Jupiter. No one has actually ever seen my surface up close. There's only so many Jupiter jokes, guys.
Sex with me is like sex with Jupiter, made famous by the line "Drops of Jupiter."
Yes, that's why Jupiter.
I'm desperately clinging to the hope that I can catch up to BJ.
No, that's what made Jupiter famous. It wasn't Galileo. You know?
The drops of Jupiter in her hair.
Yeah, people were suddenly like, "Oh, the biggest thing in the solar system."
Sex with me is like sex with Jupiter. I'm just a way for things to slingshot to other things. I'm just a way station. Vegas.
Yeah, I like science fiction. Columbia University.
Wait a minute.
User? Oh, God.
Sex with me is like Jupiter, visible to the naked eye and visible to the eye naked.
Anyway, sex with me is like sex with Columbia University. Expensive but worthless.
Wow. Sex with me is like sex with Columbia University. Just a safety choice, you know.
Sex with me is like sex with Columbia University. Barack Obama can get in.
Wow.
Sex with me is like sex with Columbia University, the one in South America, run on cocaine and grad student labor.
Sex with me is like sex with Columbia University. A good time in Manhattan.
Sex with me is like sex with Columbia University. It's like the likely outcome is the need of a lawyer.
Sex with me is like sex with Columbia University. Pick your times wisely and leave a gap for lunch.
All right.
For sex. Sex during lunch.
Sex with me is like sex with Columbia University. A lot of business students hop on.
Sex with me is like sex with Columbia University. It's really nice.
Sex Sex with me is like sex with Columbia University. A lot of freshmen will funk out when they fuck. No, don't get me pushed. No. I'm not trying to make funk and fuck. It just didn't work.
Sex with me is like sex with Columbia University. Your parents will probably be okay with it at first, but once the bill comes due, they're not going to be all right.
Sex with me is like sex with Columbia University. I will give you a personal tour, but just during summer, because that's when tours happen.
Mike, you got one you've been holding on to?
I don't know. My friend's older brother went there.
Wow.
All right, I'm gonna take one more, and this is definitely one I don't know what it is, so it might be a short one. But Imelda Marcos.
Sex with me is like sex with Imelda Marcos. All earrings, all day.
Sure, I'll give you a point.
Fence for who she was. Look back at Robin Williams' performances in the 80s. He made lots of jokes about it.
Which Rob will now keep for us and get points.
Sex with me is like sex with Imelda Marcos. I have to ask Rob to show me what's going on because I just don't know what's going on.
Sex with me is like sex with Imelda Marcos. You will end up with an enormous shoe collection afterwards. Another topical joke from 1983. If you watched Dateline at that point, you were aware of the outrage about this woman's appointments when her husband, who was apparently born in fucking Antarctica, was abusing his people. She was very much a Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake type persona, but she actually endorsed the bloodshed. So sex with me was like that.
Hey, Crime and Cookies, thanks for rating with a party of 3. Right now, we're making jokes comparing how sex with me is like Imelda Marcos. I don't know what's going on either, so don't worry about it.
Thanks for visiting. Sex with me is like sex with Imelda Marcos. Soon enough, the people will rise up, and we'll finish this up in Hawaii.
Sex with me is like sex with Imelda Marcos. No one from Gen Z knows what it's about.
Sex with me is like sex with Imelda Marcos. I'm only going to last as long as I am because I'm very anti-communist. Right?
No.
Everyone knows how great fascists are in bed. I'm gonna take one more, just for Crime and Cookies.
Wait a minute.
Fine, go ahead.
Sex with me is like sex with Mount Marcos because you'll see my Filipinas.
Hey.
Sure. I'm sure that is a good joke. Whatever.
I'm sure it's the opposite.
Rubik's Cube.
Sex with me is like sex with Rubik's Cube. You'll see lots of people doing it on TikTok.
Sex with me is like sex with a Rubik's Cube. I have many sides, but you will rarely ever see a complete picture.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah. Sex with me is like sex with a Rubik's Cube. You can get it in Target.
Sex with me is like sex with a Rubik's Cube. No matter how much you finger it, you're going to get frustrated and leave.
Sex with me is like sex with a Rubik's Cube. It's easier just to break it.
I'm gonna cut off all sex with me jokes there.
Do we have scores after that, Vegas?
We have so many scores. Randy, thank you for choosing and picking when to make your jokes.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah, that's not the way to win the volume game of scored sex with me, but I appreciate your style. Randy, you have 17 points total after that round. Rob, you have 24 points, all of which have been earned in the sex with me round. And BJ,
the old-fashioned way.
You got 23 points in that round, so you have 36 total, maintaining your lead. And I think it's time for us to check those answers. And by the way, the people who just joined us, we're gonna check how people answered questions we asked them earlier. So, stick around and enjoy that.
Let's check those answers.
$25 from someone.
We're back.
All right, Beach, did you say we got a donation?
We did $25 from our super fan Squawk25.
Thank you, Squawk25. You gave us all the suggestions tonight, and then you gave us your money. And what have we given you?
Topical Imelda Marcos humor.
All right, well, at this point, all writing utensils must be out of the contestants' hands. So, folks in the chat room, help us out. If these answers should be finalized, if you see anybody scribbling, name and shame. And here we go. Let's go to the first question of that round, which was math. And of course, it's about beer. I have 3 growlers of Nate's Nut Brown Ale from Chestnut Brew Works in Morgantown, West Virginia. You should all go check them out. It's a great brewery run by a great guy. And I'm drinking Hallett Pale Ale tonight, which is a specialty of theirs. But anyway, I'm done plugging my buddy's brewery. I want to pour the growlers, the 3 growlers, into steins so that I can share them with my friend. Each stein holds a third of the volume of one of the growlers. So for 7 points, how many steins will I need? And I said, it sounds complicated, but I'll give you the equation. 3 divided by 1/3. That's all we had to see is 3 divided by 1/3. Randy, you're up first tonight. What did you get for this question?
9 steins. Is that what that means?
That
9 steins. All right. And Rob, you're number 2.
I also have 9 steins.
9 steins. All right. And BJ.
Well, Mike, you often like to do these little math jokes with like your little tricks, your little fucking trick, your trick questions here. So you're mad with power, but math doesn't lie. It's 9 steins.
All right. I regret to inform you all that it was 27.
It's 9. 9 is the answer.
9.
3 divided by 1/3 is 9.
Because 3 divided by 1/3 is the same as 3 times the inversion of 1/3, which would be 3/1.
Mm-hmm. You can see this right there.
As a former math teacher, that makes me happy to see.
Oh, my work.
Teacher?
Yeah, that's very nice.
I am a former math teacher.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I taught middle school algebra. And now I do math in a wood shop. Because woodworking is a lot of math.
So did the Unabomber, Mike. So did the Unabomber.
You got me. All right, question number 2. By what trademark name is a commonly used water displacement spray better known? And I gave you guys some hints here. The creators claim that the current product was their 40th variation on their formula and have kept it a trade secret since its release in 1953. The correct answer will earn the contestants 10 points, but the answer which most amuses Vegas the Incorruptible will earn 5 points. This time we're going to start with Rob.
So I went through a couple iterations here. I thought it was Astroglide. That is not correct. I thought it was Windex. That is not correct. I assumed that Vegas was giving a veiled hint that it was rum and orange juice because that toxic combination could certainly displace something. But I believe the correct answer is WD-40.
All right, BJ, what did you get for this?
Or does Rob have a funny answer?
He gave his funny answers.
Oh.
Don't be rude.
Sorry.
Burn, jeez, Beach.
I haven't seen Rob for a while.
Knives Out.
My funny answer is Dwight D. Eisenhower's Super Lube. That's why everyone likes Ike. See? Quality stuff. Quality stuff. None of that puppet nonsense. Quality comedy. But the answer is WD-40.
Very well. Randy?
Okay, so I'm hearing this WD-40 thrown around, and I don't know about that. My response is Chanel number 9. And yeah, hear me out. I know that the 4 of you aren't necessarily the audience for this, but I'm going to take the platform and speak out about an under-discussed topic. Chanel number 9 does not smell good. Doesn't smell good at all. And when something doesn't smell good, it's a turnoff. And turnoffs could also be referred to as water displacement because there's no water being produced when you smell bad. It's not, you know what I mean?
Damn, you're saying Chanel number 9 dries you out.
It's thank you. Spell it out for the people, Vegas. So listen, those, you know, sort of maybe mismatching associated facts about 40 formulas versus 9 formulas and being developed in 1958 versus a time way earlier, irrelevant. My response is Chanel number 9, and yeah, it's not good. Don't use it.
Well, Randy, you are going to get those 5 Vegas points. And BJ and Rob, you're going to get those 10 regular points.
So, I feel irrelevant now.
So WD stands for water displacement, and it's the 40th variation on that formula. Weirdly, the formula is not patented. It's just kept as a trade secret. However, the name is trademarked. So there was somebody stealing the name, but not formula.
They're like, no one's ever going to guess that it's vegetable oil in a can.
Yeah. It reminds me of The Simpsons, where it's like, the secret ingredient is cough syrup.
WD-28 ended up being nerve gas.
Well, there's a WD-60 that is used to clean turbines and big industrial equipment. I don't know if that's actually the 60th formula, but
might have skipped a few to keep the number. Keep the number convention.
All right, question number 3. I said for 10 points, what is the only English word that ends in MT? BJ, what did you get?
Well, every night I dream a dream, so in the morning I can tell people I dreamt it.
Interesting. Randy?
I wrote pimped. So yeah, it's I don't know the word, but it is a word. You said that it ends in MT, but you didn't say that it only ends in MT. So I think the P is valid here. It's the old English version for the past tense of pimped. And yeah, I mean it's an old institution, it's an old profession. So there you are.
Well,
it's a valiant attempt at, I think I could have been more clear with how I phrased the question to say that it had to end MT being the last 2 letters, because technically I guess doormat could have been an answer for this. But let's see, Vegas. What are you saying? Oh wait, no, Rob.
Yeah, we got Rob's answers.
I love a question that points out the phrasing inaccuracy of Les Miserables. So I dreamt a dream that men were kind.
Well, of course, BJ and Rob, you both get the 10 points for that question. And
You do a couple more rounds of sex with me?
yeah, I'm just gonna give Randy 40 million points for her answer, though.
I think that would be good. I'm beginning to suspect that this show is a BJ bias. I'm a little curious.
I was gonna say that during the first round when there were multiple questions about presidents. Which is...
Yeah, this beer-related show has really played to my strengths as a former alcohol specialist.
I'm not even supposed to be here.
What are we doing? You want to behold the winner?
Yeah, let's behold the winner.
All right, let's behold. It's BJ. BJ won again. You got the most points in the first round. You got 1 point less than Rob in Sex with Me. You got the same amount of points as Rob in round 3. No one got any points in round 2.
Can't you,
Randy,
Mr. Rogers?
I don't know. I mean, if those 40 million points I gave you count, you've won every show so far, so whatever. Thank you, everyone.
So what are the final scores that we got here?
Well, if you look at the top of the Twitch screen, which you can't see because you're in a Zoom channel, BJ got 63 points, Rob got 51, and Randy got 29. 4,029,000.
Well, then congratulations to BJ. Thank you to Vegas for running our tech as well as co-hosting tonight. And finally, in this episode about beer, we'd like to leave you with some advice from Ernest Hemingway, who said, "Always do sober what you said you'd do drunk. That'll teach you to keep your mouth shut." Hey.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us tonight. We will be back, of course, next Friday at this spot at 8 p.m. Eastern Time with the N-Crowds Improv Comedy Show, and the NQuisition will be back the Friday after that. Please follow and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And we're not rating anyone because I'm running tech and I don't know how to do that. Have a good night, everyone. Oh, there's a button that ends the show. Yeah, I'm going to press it. It says outro. Okay, bye.
Drunk by now.